Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notification every time I upload a new video. I am Danny and this is going to be my review on The Haves and the Have-Nots season 6 episode 4, The Lion. Now I'm only going to talk about the important parts the parts that I feel are important throughout this episode. I'm not going to touch on everything, so this review might not be that long. We're going to hop on into where it left off last week with Hannah telling Candace and Benny that that was her dad that was in the hotel room. And I was thinking in my head, Hannah, you say you didn't know who Candace's dad was, and Candace looked like she's at least 30 years old. So how you just randomly know this man is Candace's daddy? And you say you didn't know, but you used to sleep with a whole bunch of men, so you wouldn't know how one person looked like 30 years later. But after the man leave, the man was like, I don't know you. And the man just walked out. Like, I would have walked out too, but he was like, I don't know you. And he just like walked out. He was like, I guess you think these motherfuckers are here crazy. But she basically admitted that she was lying. And then it was like, what? She was like, yeah, but he could be. He could be your daddy. He could be your daddy. He could be your daddy. And then Candace kept asking like about her daddy or whatever. So Hannah basically ended up telling her that she was hanging out with her girls one night and they end up getting drunk or whatever and they walked home. I'm like, why would women, drunk women at that, walk home like in the middle of the night? But she said her friends, they left and went to their house first, and she was lastly like walking by herself because she was on a couple of blocks away. And I'm like, all of y'all should have just went to the same house, because you know, like, you're supposed to look out for your girls like when they're drunk or whatever. Like, y'all don't leave each other so nothing won't happen to you. But she ended up walking home, and she was like, she passed by this man and he just looked like creepy or whatever. She got like a bad feeling from him, and then like she looked back that he wasn't moving. And then she just started running to her house or whatever. And her aunt or somebody wasn't even there to let her in. And I'm like, why you ain't got no key? You old enough to go out drinking and partying and stuff. You should be able to have a key. That was crazy. So she had to wait till the lady come home. The lady came home drunk and stuff. So she said she went upstairs and went to her bed and like passed out. And she woke up and the man was on top of her, like raping her, and told her if she screamed, he'll kill her. And I'm like... So she just laid there, and she said the only thing she can remember from him, he had like a lion tattoo on him, and she remembered his eyes and his nose. And I'm like, so why are you upstairs getting raped? Your aunt is downstairs like drunk or whatever, sleep or whatever. And I'm like, how did this man get in? Like, did he just break in? Or did she know him and she let him in and said you could do whatever you want to him, to her? Because you know how some addicts and stuff, they like sell off their kids or whatever. So, I don't know. But she said the man ended up raping her or whatever, and she was like, she felt him inside of her and all this crap. And then she started going to church with her aunt, because her aunt apparently like got saved or whatever. And then she found out she was pregnant. She didn't want to keep the baby, and her aunt said she wasn't going to abort no baby or she couldn't stay with her. And I'm like, how you going to tell this girl this when you was supposed to be watching her? You supposed to be taking care of her, being her guardian and stuff, and you let this happen to her, and then you got a nerve to blackmail her into keeping the baby, say she shouldn't have get rid of the baby. Now Hannah, she could have just made her own choice and got rid of the baby and left, because obviously she wasn't safe at that lady's house and she ended up getting raped. But she ended up keeping the baby, whatever, and she said she got like excited or whatever after she felt the baby kick. And after she actually had the baby, she actually liked Candace. She loved Candace because she was so innocent and all that stuff. And then all the memories and stuff brought it back to her once Candace told her when she was younger that she got like molested or whatever. So everything came coming back full circle. Now, as she telling this story, Benny's in the corner crying. Like, you can see Benny like wiping his eyes and stuff. He's just over there crying. And then Candace, she looked like she was emotional, like she was about to break down. And after Hannah got done telling her story, she just started clapping. Just clapping. Telling her, good job, Hannah, but I don't believe any of that. Except for the part where you told me that you didn't really care. Because Hannah told her that she didn't want her. And then she was like, except for the part you didn't care and you didn't want me. But she said she only said that because Candace started being rebellious and it started like affecting her or whatever. And then Hannah was like, yeah, who wants a rapist baby? And that's what I'm thinking in my head. Who wants to have a baby by a rapist? That baby is going to remind you every single day of all the pain you had to go through to get that baby. But I don't know with Candace. because she looked like she was actually believing the story, and then I guess she wanted to act hard in front of them, so she ended up putting them out. And Hannah sat down and she clapped her shoes, and she's like, what kind of voodoo mess is this? But she quoted some scripture, Matthew something from the New Testament. I forgot exactly which chapter and verse it was from, but it was basically like wiping her hands or feet clean of Candace or whatever, and they ended up leaving. And then after they left, Candace actually broke down and cried. And I'm like, why you just didn't do this when they were there? Y'all would have had like a great bonding moment. This could have been like a new chapter in your lives to like get over everything. But she just broke down crying or whatever. So back at the house, Benny and Hannah, Benny was saying that he believed her even if Candace didn't believe her. And I'm like, yeah, who would make up a story like this? This just really outlandish. And he telling her, asking her if she ever got counseling. She was like, no, she couldn't afford it. Church, and he was like, what about the church or something like that? She was like, they didn't have any counseling over there anyway. And then he had said that he was going to pay for her to get counseling. She was like, how, with what money? You don't have your touring truck no more. And he lied and told her that he was going to be borrowing some friend's truck, like when he heard or whatever, and he could split the proceeds. But basically, he allegedly getting the money from Mitch's mob family. But he said he was going to pay for her therapy and stuff. And I'm like, she should have been went through that, because this is like really heavy. If you don't go to therapy for something like that, you could like snap or get like emotional breakdown anytime, I'm assuming, because it's just like like a traumatic experience. It's just like when people who go to war and they come back and they hear like a car firing back and they just thinking they back on the war field or whatever. But yeah, and then she ended up seeing the dishes and stuff washed, and like the maintenance man, he ended up like, well, the man who fixed the sink, he ended up like washing the dishes and all that stuff. And Hannah wanted to call him and thank him, and she called him and she thanked him for it. She was Hannah, I don't know, she can't even sound sexy or anything. She's talking about, this is Hannah. Like, and the man was like, yeah, he watched it. And he asked her out for coffee and all this stuff. And she declined and was like, she don't know him like that. And then he was like, okay. So I don't know if he's going to try again or whatever. And then after he hung up with the Catherine, peeking around the corner, eavesdropping. Asked, what did she say? And he was like, she turned me down. She literally turned me down, saying she didn't know me like that. And she didn't sound too good either. And Catherine wanted to call her. He was like, no, don't call her, because she's going to know that I told you that she didn't sound too good. So she ended up not calling her. And then down at the jail, we get David trying to go see Jeffrey. And the people at the little desk thing, they won't let him in. He was like, I'm here to see Jeffrey. He's like, who are you? I'm his lawyer. And I'm like, aren't David and Jim judges, even though they're not really on the bench right now because all this stuff that's going on? But some people down at the jail know who they are and who their family is. And I'm like, maybe the DA, the current DA, the little Asian man, got something to do with this, to block him from seeing Jeffrey for as long as he can, to try to get Jeffrey to confess or something, or like tell on his family or something like that, or tell on Justin. I think he's just trying to get Jeffrey to snap. That's what I'm thinking. So, because they haven't given him any food, any water, and he's been down in the jail for like a few days or whatever. And they gave him his phone call to see his lawyer, but his lawyer is actually there, and they're not allowing him to see him. So basically, and David sat down and some lady told him, oh, you a lawyer? He was like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. And then she was like, oh, well, they got my boyfriend in here. And they told me he shot somebody, and he ain't shot nobody because I did it. And then David was like, I'm not a practicing lawyer right now, I'm a judge. And then she was like, well, ain't that a bitch? Ain't that something? I just bust out laughing. But then when they come back a few scenes later, David's still sitting there. And I'm like, he hasn't seen Jeffrey yet? And then he go back up and like, well, how long is DA going to take? They talking about DA busy. Busy doing what? That's why I said they giving David the runaround. They giving him the runaround. Okay, now back down at the hotel. After Hannah and Benny left, we got Candace and the little girl who was down at the little scene who Vice was trying to get last episode. She walks into Candace's room. I'm like, why would she just randomly walk into Candace's room? Like, did the man at the bar say somebody was waiting for her up there? I don't know. But then the girl walked in and Candace was like, what's your name? And I think the girl said Gia or Mia or something like that. And she was like, no, your new name is Bottom Bitch. and you gonna be my bottom bitch, and I'm Candace. They call me Candy Cane. And the girl kept protesting, saying she not a prostitute, she not a hooker, she not an escort, and all this stuff. So Candy basically like broke her down and then ripped her clothes open and told her, oh yeah, you got nice tits. And she turned around, looked at her butt, said her butt was nice, and told her that she had like a Dollar Tree dress on or something. I said, girl, don't you rag on Dollar Tree. But the girl finally said, okay, this is my first time. And she's like, I knew it. And she was telling the girl that she could make $10,000 a night. The girl was like, if I can make $10,000 a night, why you not doing it? And I said, that's a good question. And Candace could answer, talking about she was getting a new profession. She was going to be the girl, a new pimp and all this. I'm like, Candace, why are you doing this? Like, I'm starting not to like Candace's character. Not her whole attitude and everything is just like really annoying. And how she's doing this girl, don't even know this girl. And told the girl she going to work on Tuesdays and Fridays. And Erica's going to get her some clothes and somebody else going to do her hair. And then she was trying to get the girl to unlock her phone. The girl was like, no. She ended up slapping the girl. So the girl unlocked her phone and she put her name in there as Candy Cane and put Erica's number in there. And I'm like, Candace really is acting like a pimp. As soon as they get somebody new, they go abusing them and try to get them to fall in the line. I hope this girl don't fall for the okie doke and just like run away. Because Candace don't know her like that. Well, Candace did look at her ID, so I'm assuming she probably going to get her address or whatever by just looking. Because she was like, when the girl gave her name, she was like, oh, you gave me your real name. You was born to be a whore. I said, Candace, girl, I hope that girl don't do this. I really do, because Candace getting on my nerves now. And then Benny, he's sitting outside somewhere. Veronica called him. He was like, who is this? He was like, it's Veronica Harrington. He was like, oh, what's up? And she was like, I was just calling you. He was like asking her, was she okay and stuff. She was like, yeah, she's fine. She indebted to him and she want him to come down to the hospital to see her. I said, girl, are you really doing this? Like, you don't fell in love with Benny. Benny ain't got no money. Benny ain't even got no money, no house, no car. The only thing he probably got is good pipe. And that's probably what she fell in love with. She finna be a sugar mama to Benny. I don't even think Benny said he was going to go down there, but it's going to be his best bet since he's trying to use Veronica for lawyer fees. Well, not fees, lawyer counseling and all this stuff with this Quincy Maxwell stuff. But it's weird because her son is involved, so that would be a conflict of interest. And she the one in court said that Jeffrey was her client. So that was crazy to me. And with Jim and the little DA lady, the little white lady. So she ended up going down there. So apparently she used to be like a prostitute or a hooker on the scene. And Jim saved her from being caught and like put in the system or whatever. So he just basically used her as his personal prostitute throughout the years. But now she's trying to get out of that because she hadn't seen Jim in a while. And Jim saying he needs eyes and ears and the DA office and stuff. She's acting really reluctant about it. But I don't know. I think she's going to do it because Jim them always wither their way out of this. And David ended up calling Jim, telling him about how Veronica put Jeffrey in jail. And he asked him if he got some kind of pull down at DA's office, they won't let him see it. And he was like, well, Catherine's daddy's name still ring bells in this town. And he was like, call and ask her. He was like, no, you call and ask her because I don't want her to think you came to me first. So he ended up calling for Catherine, telling her about it. She was like, yeah, I'll get somebody on it. And he was telling him how Veronica had Jeffrey put in jail. And she was like, that's a shame, especially when she just was in a car accident. And he was like, car accident? And she was like, never mind. So David ended up hanging up. I guess David don't care because he already over Veronica. Everybody on this show is over Veronica. So we get Jeffrey down at the jail. Justin comes walking in. Harrington. You know how he do to try to not be as obvious, but it's still obvious. And he was like mad as hell. So he ended up taking Jeffrey in the interrogation room and still had the man handcuffed. Like usually he take the cuffs off as soon as he go in there. I assume Jeffrey probably thought too that he gonna come in there and tell him that he got in touch with David. David was on his way. But no. He want to talk about Big Head Wyatt. So Wyatt called while he was asking about Wyatt. He was like, what's this thing with Wyatt? And Wyatt ended up calling. And he was like, answer the phone, Jeffrey. Jeffrey say, how am I going to answer the phone with my handcuffed behind my back? And I said, that's a good question. So he answers the phone. Justin pressed the thing, and he was like, Jeffrey, what's going on, man? I keep trying to call you. I keep trying to get in touch with you. He was like, what's going on? And this dude keep answering the phone. The police dude, the crazy dude. So, Justin was like, yeah, I'm still answering. He was like, oh, so you got him on the phone? You got him? And then he was like, what's this thing between you and Wyatt? What's this thing between you and Jeffrey? And Jeffrey was like, it's nothing going on. We're just friends. We're just friends. And Wyatt talking about we're lovers. Justin lost his mind. It was so funny. He just like, it looked like he would have been on a Snap episode. I was like, we're lovers. We've been lovers for years. I love Jeffrey. I'm in love with you. And then Justin just lost his mind. And Jeffrey was like, that's not true. We're just friends. We're just friends. Somehow they ended up hanging up the phone or whatever. Oh, because Justin asked him, you still home? He said, yeah, I'm still home. I'm still waiting for you. So you was coming down here. So why you really about it? They finna get in here and fight over Jeffrey when Jeffrey don't belong to any one of them. And he ended up asking Jeffrey about text messages and emails. And I said, I knew that was going to come back to hunt him, giving that man his password to his phone. Because he's going to go through everything. That's exactly what I said when he told me about something. Call his daddy from his phone. I'm like, he could have texted his daddy from like a little throwaway phone. You ain't had to get this man your password. But then he was asking about email stuff. And Jeffrey was like, I use it as a diary. I use it as a diary because I was in love with Jeffrey. I didn't want to tell him or anybody or whatever. I use it as a diary. I didn't email that to anybody. But Justin doesn't want to hear this. He keeps thinking that Jeffrey is having an affair. Well, not really an affair because they're not even together. Having a relationship with Wyatt and not telling him about it. And it just was like, man, just take me back to my cell. And he was like, I did all of this for you. I did all this for you. You mean to tell me you don't want me? I was out here looking for apartments for us to live together. I said, apartments? Justin has really lost his mind. I said, apartments? And Jeffrey was like, apartments? You got a wife. Like, what are you talking about? That's what I'm thinking. And Jeffrey like, take me back to my cell. He was like, no, I'm not taking you anywhere. He's like, if you don't take me back, I'm going to scream. And he was like, okay, I would like to see you try it. He was like, help! And so he just started choking him out. And he's just like passed out or whatever. Well, they was putting him in like the sleeper. And they end up ending like that from that particular scene. So that's all basically what happened in the episode. If I missed anything, you guys put it down in the comments and tell me your thoughts on the episode and on the show. But this was my review of the haves and the have-nots, The Lion. Now I do have a few reservations. Do y'all think this new black man is going to be the man with the lion tattoo? Because if it is, that Tyler Perry will really shake things up. Because Hannah will really know. But my thing is with the rape and all that, why didn't Hannah report it? Because I'm quite sure in the 80s there were DNA. When DNA invented in the 80s? They discovered it in the 80s? I don't know. But Candace is a walking DNA test because she's a baby. So if she say, oh, this man did it, they can just easily do a DNA test like that. But why didn't she report it? Because she never said that she reported it. She just basically got raped because she said she didn't know the man. But she still could have reported it, and they could have took DNA swabs and vaginal swabs and all that stuff. And then ran it through the system like whenever it became available. When new criminals come in like they do now. I don't know if they did that back then. But my thing is, why did she report it? And why didn't the church or anything try to give her any counseling to help her mental state? Or Candace as well. Like, I think she should have been told Candace, like when Candace got 18 and she kept asking about her dad or whatever. I think she should have told her then instead of waiting till she's like in her 30s to tell her. But I don't know if Candace was a runaway teen, so maybe she couldn't tell her like right when she became 18, because you know Candace been living this hard street life forever. But thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. All my social media links are down below. My ebook Football Wives is available on Amazon Kindle for 99 cents. Kindle Unlimited, you get to read both parts for free. I'm working on putting it on Google Play. Give me some time for that. Also, leave a comment down below if you watch the show. Tell me what you think. And don't forget to thumbs up this video, share this video, like this video, and be back next week for my new review for the next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I upload daily. Bye.